Hello, my name is Paul Jennings, and I have the privilege and the honor to be the coordinator of the Marie Curie ITN project in3. Now, in3 is written, it'll probably appear here somewhere, is written with a small I, a small n, and a big 3. It's not capital I, capital N, and sometimes written as 3 cubed. It's not. In3 means in vitro and in silico integration. And we think that synergy is something important and something we really wanted to do. So this concept came really from myself and Maxime Coulot and Maria Gabriella and Martin Leonard sitting down together and saying, what could we do in a training network? And we thought really mixing the in vitro, which is mostly cell culture, together with the in silico, which is lots of things, bioinformatics and cheminformatics and analysis and data workflows and all that kind of stuff would be a really cool thing to do. And we did it, and we nearly finished the project, and it worked very well. One of the complications of such a project is the recruitment, because the project is only 4 years and the PhD students only stay 3 years, which is short for most countries and normal for other countries. So we have to recruit really fast. So we got the go ahead in, I think, November 2016. Is that right, Max?
Yes, Paul.
Yeah. So we got to go ahead in November 2016, and so we got really onto the recruitment thing, and I think by April 2017 we had recruited everybody, and so we did it all online, and it wasn't COVID times then, because people were scattered all over the world, and we interviewed people multiple times because once a job was filled, we released them back into the pool, and then they could be interviewed by somebody else. And there were so many people that we would have liked to have hired, because it was truly amazing the amount of good applicants we had from all over the world, really, truly all over the world. And the selection we have now, I don't remember off by heart, but it's on the webpage. So we have people from India and Portugal and Cuba and Colombia, and they're really great individuals. But there was other candidates as well that just didn't make it because we had limited spots. We only had 15 spots, which is a lot of spots, but we had 15. So now we know these people, and I can really clearly say, and it's written on our webpage too, that these are dedicated, motivated, dynamic individuals that really care about their work, and they're really, really smart, and they work together in a highly collaborative fashion. So we're really, really lucky with the ESRs, and I think they're lucky to have each other. We're not so lucky with the PIs, but that's okay. So me and Martin Leonard know each other. We went to school together. I went to secondary school together. We went to university together. So we were pals, and we did our PhDs together in the neighboring labs. I know Maxime and Maria Gabriella really quite well from a project called Predictive, where Wolfgang Dekent was the head of it, and we really hit it off. We liked and we enjoyed meeting each other, and so this was one of the reasons to do it with this core team, because it was if things are fun, you can do better if you enjoy it. So that was really the plan. We wanted to see each other more often, and then I'm now forgetting some of this, but I don't remember who brought in some of the people. So Andras Dinis is the first time I worked with him. It was the first time I worked with Professor Catherine Fafai. I'd known Emilio Benfanati, but I hadn't also worked really alongside him in a project. We were in the Surat project together, but he was in another cluster. Who else? Marianne Novik. She was new in this project for me. Ninke Kramer, I know very well because she was a colleague of Baz Blauba, and so she was always at the meetings with Baz, and I got to know her very well. And then Barry Hardy and Thomas Exner, I also know from previous projects to Surat. So all these new people, so I think they're all excellent scientists. They did a really great job, and they really worked very well with everybody. And there was hiccups, of course, but that's normal. And they bring along with them like other people as well. So I'm not going to mention the people in our lab that are not involved in the project, but we have excellent people in our lab, and everybody does. But Anja Wilmes was really integral to this project, and she was at all of the meetings, and she really coordinated her actions well, which was with our two ESRs, so that's Cormac and Vidya. And then we were lucky enough to get Ellen Langemeyer. So she really helped me manage the project, and she did all the daily business. And so on that level, it was really excellent. And oh, I forgot Lyle Armstrong. Sorry. So Lyle Armstrong as well. I never worked with him before, but I knew. No, that's not true. I met Lyle also in the STEM Bank project. So we had many drinks together and many discussions, and I really like Lyle. He's a charismatic guy. But all in all, this is a good group. We had fun. We like going out. I'm just talking about the PIs. We liked each other. We like going out. We like discussing. And I did forget now again, Johannes and Regina Grillari. I know them from a collaborations we had way back with the Architect Tutzos. Yeah, this is a different. It looks different here because I actually forgot to mention Mark Cronin. So um, Mark was the coordinator of the Cosmos project, and that's where I met him first in the Surat cluster. And then a few years later, I was writing projects to an EU call on nanotoxicology, and our project we wrote a really nice project called Nanotas, and we had two project meetings, and Mark couldn't come to the first one, so he came separately on his own, and I was so surprised about that because Mark has a big reputation, and he's really really well known in the toxicology world. I wasn't at the time, and I'm not still anywhere near Mark's statue, but he came over to Innsbruck, and he took time out of his schedule, and he stayed 2 days and one night, and it was such a privilege to have him. We always used to drink in a bar called Bugatti, and I wasn't sure because we didn't know each other. So, but he came to Bugatti, and after a few beers in Bugatti, he was really relaxed, and I was really relaxed. And then we went for a nice dinner. We brought a few other people to that dinner, and I was trying to impress Mark, so I bought the most expensive steak in the restaurant, and it comes as a whole, and then they cut it in front of you. It's an Italian thing, I forget what it's called. And to the steak, I bought a bottle of wine that cost like I think €80, and because I asked the waiter, what kind of wine would go with that, and we drank it, and it was really nice, and it really really went well with the wine. And later on, actually, I sent Max a picture of it. Oh no, I brought Max to the same restaurant, and we ordered that same wine because I had a picture of it. I was trying to look for the picture now, but I can't find it, but I'll find it eventually. And yeah, me and Mark I would say we became friends, and we met each other at many other meetings. And I always liked interacting with Mark. He's an intellect, and he's a fun guy. He's a quiet man, but he's just a pleasure to be in his company. It makes people feel at ease. And our project Nanotest didn't get accepted in the end, but it was fun doing it and fun meeting people. And what else do I want to say? Yeah, there was something. Oh yeah. So unfortunately, um, Mark was in he was competing against one of the consortium I was in for the EU Tox Risk. But I was glad he was in the in3 project because then I got to see him quite a bit. And I'm really happy to say now that he's in a new project that Bob van der Water is leading again, and that's the Risk Hunter, and that starts sometime next year. And Mark is one of the partners, so I'm happy that we'll get to see each other and have some beers, and the vaccines are coming soon, so we'll be able to do that. Okay, sorry, Mark, for forgetting you, but I hope that makes up for it.
A big part from this in3 project or these ITNs is the training. So how was this achieved in the project?
So the training in the project was quite ambitious because the general idea was really to integrate the in silico and the in vitro part. So obviously from an individual perspective, every single of our ISR has some involvement in his own topic, but the general idea would be that at the end of the training, every single individual would be able to understand what is done on the other side. And I think to that respect, we somehow achieved it because we are now coming to an end, and I can clearly see and visualize the effect and the results of that training. So we were very lucky in our training also to benefit from the great expertise of all the members who participated in the training. So we had academic experts, but also people involved in SME, which are also having academic training, but which are also at the core of what is done now currently in industry. And this, I'm pretty sure, has benefited the ESR who received the training directly from them. So practically, this training was involving a lot of different events. So first, we have a kind of a virtual lab, and it sounded a bit crazy originally to call it a virtual lab. But in the end, Paul in particular was extremely devoted to that and spent at least 1 hour every single week connecting to at least all the ESR and most of the PI who could attend the weekly meeting. And this really created a synergy between everyone, and everyone got to know each other from that. And this was the core. And during this weekly meeting, every single topics were constantly discussed. And then we can see the evolution. On top of that, we had different layers of teaching. Students were, I think, know that because they're coming to an end of this training, they are now ready to face the real world and to find position, but they were also pretty well ready to face the COVID situation because they have benefited from a long training in online training. So they are very used to the use of these different machine and teaching online and giving them the presentation online. Nothing of that was new to them, and they were perfectly fine with this situation. And obviously, we are lucky enough to have a lot of hands-on training and also secondments, and in particular, some of our partner organizations, L'Oréal, for example, at least to mention one, or TSUs in Germany provided secondments in their premise, where our students could really go there and train there. And for those which are academic, which are hosted in academic institutions, then they can really train in the different environments and discover something different. So this, I think, nice combination of the things. I've been associated to the coordination of that, but I must say I'm still jealous of these people from benefiting from such training. I think just by the kind of teaching they receive, probably I would benefit myself greatly about receiving all this education I sometimes miss completely. So I can really definitely see from the students I had in charge, and Sarah in particular, that she's mastering a lot more stuff that I don't. So it's fine for me. I already have a position, but I think for her, at least it's a great tool and asset. And I think it's probably the case for quite a lot of our ESRs, that they really have tools and assets which hopefully will help them inserting themselves into the working field.
So you see that I'm wearing a lab coat, and I wear a lab coat in the lab, not as often as I should most of the time when I think of it. But all PIs, when they're in videos, you see them wearing a lab coat even when they're outside, which is ridiculous. But Sara and Zahra asked me to wear a lab coat for this interview because they thought it looked professional, and they don't really see me in a lab coat very often. But this is a very special lab coat because this is Walter Pfahler's lab coat. And I brought this from Innsbruck to Amsterdam with me. And I'm a very, very dear friend of Walter Pfahler. Walter was my mentor and friend, and he's not, I don't know why I'm crying, but he's not dead or anything. And I just get emotional when I think about it, because I moved from Innsbruck to Amsterdam just at the beginning of this project, and I had a lot of friends there, and I missed them. But I wear this lab coat because it reminds me of Walter and all the good times we had in Innsbruck. And I hope that me and Max really drove this project in the spirit of how Walter acted. He is an amazing collaborator and talker, and he's amazing intellect. And yeah, sorry for being emotional. So this little introduction from myself and from Maxime was just to give you a kind of an overview. And now if you click over to I guess it's here somewhere, to the ESRs, and they're going to actually give several talks about their work and what they've done academically in the project. And I hope you'll find it useful. Also, Max mentioned just now that these ESRs really learned a lot about modern ways of approaching things, documentation, things that we didn't really do well in the past. And online videos and stuff like that Max said is really useful these days, because everybody has to do it now because of the COVID virus. But you might notice that our last meeting is online, and we were all a bit annoyed, to be honest. But I mean, it's nobody's fault that the COVID virus happened, and we have to try and be happier about it because the vaccines are coming. But because we all like each other, we were upset that we couldn't meet each other. And that's the PIs, because me and Max and all the PIs like to have a little drink with each other and talk to each other. And the ESRs all love each other, and they get on, and there's really strong friendships been bound. So we said, if we can't do it live, let's do it well online. And you'll, if you're there during the day on Monday and Tuesday, I think you'll see that we've done something really special. And it was a special project with special people. And I think we've done this. We've cracked this way of doing it online in a funny, sentimental way, but where science and the workshop is about careers as well. That this is at the forefront, but you have to do. I feel you have to do things with enjoyment, because if you do it with enjoyment, it's not boring, and then people get much more out of it. So enjoy all the videos and everything, and thanks for Sarah and Zahra organizing this. And hope to see you on the day. And if this is after the day, I hope we had a great time, but I think we will. Bye bye for now.